Welcome everybody. How are you doing? Today we're here for cards. Today I wanted to dive into the animal realm to guide this reading. So this is going to be a group reading for everybody here. No matter what you're going through, there's going to be something in this reading for you. So I wanted to tap in with the animal spirits. I don't know why, just because I felt like it. I don't have a reason, it just felt right. So we're going to start this reading with one single card from the Animal Apothecary Deck. And we're going to ask, which animal would like to guide this reading today. And then from whatever comes out from this card, I'll kind of have a better idea of where I would like to take the rest of the reading. So feel free to send your energy into the deck that is in my hand and ask the animal kingdom, what message is for me today? What message do you have that is in alignment with my highest good? Because even though this is a group reading, your highest good is related to the highest good of all, the collective consciousness, right? So let's see what comes out. Which animal would like to guide our reading? That was pretty fast. All right, so the animal that is guiding our reading today, this is card number 22. It's Black Panther, who tells us no expectations. Black Panther represents walking into the dark and exploring the feminine power of allowing development to come from the unknown. Walking into the unknown with no expectations is the key that will open the door to your success. The no expectations medicine of this card strongly advises you not to limit yourself with ideas about how anything will unfold. Life is planning something more delicious than you can currently understand. Something profound is on the horizon for you. Trust life without needing to be the dictator of how and when your manifestation will blossom into fruition. Intense expectations will only inhibit the ability of what is more extraordinary to develop. Take the risk for what you desire without the desperate need to control how it will unfold. A situation you perceive as a failure today may be what leads you to unfathomable success in 3 years. This is why an expectation of how you think things should work is futile. Understand that whatever occurs in your life is meant for your growth. Our misguided steps and our mistakes are our greatest teachers. Taking risks allows divine opportunities to present themselves. Take note if you are met with continuous resistance and rigid expectation. This is a universal sign that another direction is more beneficial. So take a step back and allow the path of least resistance to be revealed. This is not to say you should give up immediately, but it does warn you that you may be unaligned with the flow. It may also be a signal that you just need to wait a bit longer. So Black Panther showed up today to teach us how to let go of expectations. And this is something that kind of just came up. The more I talk about manifesting, the more I talk about things that I asked for years ago that are showing up in my life now, is that I can't tell you how and I can't tell you when, but I can tell you that whatever you ask for is showing up. It will show up. If you feel like you're in a place of resistance because you're not seeing the exact tangible result that you want, that's a sign to let go. And I know that that is so like soul crushing, but I want it, Jacqui, and you're telling me that I can have it. So why is it time to let go? Because the way that you think it's supposed to show up in your life is not the way it's going to show up in your life. And that's what keeps life magical. That's what keeps life fun. I know I desire this thing. I know I desire to feel this way. Let's use the energy of just content, right? who doesn't want to feel contentment as like a baseline, or at least the lowest baseline? So there's all these things in your life that are making you feel discontent. Well, Jacqui, I know I have to get rid of this and I have to get rid of this in order to achieve this desired feeling of contentment. Well, do you really have to let go of these things in your life? Maybe instead of trying so hard to push these things out of your life, maybe the universe wants you to think about these things in a different way. So letting go of the expectation of what you think has to happen in order for you to achieve your contentment, that's what's going to actually bring you your contentment. It's all about going with the flow. It's all about going with whatever happens, putting your arms up on the roller coaster of life. You know, sometimes you're thrust into a situation that you never thought you would be in, but it's happening for you. Everything is happening for you. So go with it. So let me think about how we can take this card. We asked what the animal kingdom wants us to hear right now, and it's no expectations. So is it the question of how? Do you guys want to know how to move forward with less expectations? Is it what are we supposed to know? I don't like that word. What are we reaching for with these no expectations? I don't like that. I like the how. How do we move forward with no expectations? Because it is a practice. It is a practice, especially being raised in the type of society that we've all been raised in. We're taught this plan that isn't in alignment with universal flow at all. It's in alignment with the money system, that hard work equals payoff. I don't believe that. I don't believe that slaving yourself away is what's going to create the life that you desire. And I'm not only talking about money, I'm talking about in everything in general. I feel like we are brought up in this society that teaches us to be good little worker slaves. And if you do that, if you work hard, if you follow these steps, you're going to achieve this greatness, which really is only, it doesn't happen for everybody. But you keep trying, and oh, I must not be good enough because I can't do what everyone else has done. That's all BS. I believe we're here to let go and flow and say, well, this is happening now, I'm going to go this way. Oop, well, this is happening now, so I'm going to go this way, even though it derails me from the path that I've been told I'm supposed to be walking. So how to be in the waiting periods of life. So, what serves our highest good during the waiting periods of life? I like that question. What serves our highest good during the waiting periods of life? And I'm just glancing over my decks. Part of me wants to keep this totally animal. Yeah, we'll use an oldie. It's been quite some time since we've seen the Illustrated Bestiary Oracle cards. What serves our highest good as we are in these waiting periods? I like that. So feel free to send your energy into the Illustrated Bestiary Oracle cards in my hand. And we're asking, what serves our highest good during these times that we're not seeing what we want yet during the waiting periods? Okay, well that one was immediate. This is going to be 3 cards for everybody who is here, and they came out so fast. So don't even have to do a little spiel here. All 3 cards are for everybody, but I will let you feel into the 3 cards to see if any of them are speaking stronger to you. So I will hold up each of the 3 cards, but I want you to just notice if any of the cards feel different to you. Maybe you get a weird feeling in your body that wasn't there. Maybe something changes in your house, like your phone rings, or someone calls your name, or your animal does something, or a bird lands on your window. Maybe you just know. Maybe right now you have a number between 1 and 3 in your mind. There's no right way to intuit which card is for you. The whole reading is for everybody. So if nothing changes when I hold up these cards, that doesn't mean that your intuition is broken. It just means that this whole reading holds equal importance for you. But if anything just pulls at you a little bit, that is a sign that your guides, the universe, is saying, pay attention to that specific card. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Okay, so while we're waiting for these things that we've been asking for, that we've been trying to manifest, we're trying to create our life to be this thing that we want, what the hell do we do when it hasn't shown up yet? Card number 1 is the River Otter telling us to slide into joy. This fashionista of the waterways stays warm in her plush fur coat, and by wriggling and squiggling, generates heat with her ridiculously high metabolism. River Otter's inner fire is fueled by constant snacking on crayfish and crabs. The cynical might say she's joyful because she gets to eat all day and not gain an ounce. But River Otter knows that when you are lit from within, life provides endless amusement. Take that muddy riverbank, for instance. River Otter says, I see a water slide. Do you see it? River Otter reminds you to actively look for joy. She knows it's there, waiting to be found. So card number 1 is saying, actively look for joy. This is saying, don't sit around saying, oh my gosh, this thing that I'm waiting for hasn't come yet. My life won't be good until I am this way, or this thing shows up in my life. Actively look for joy. There already are things in your life that invoke the feeling that what you think this manifestation is going to make you feel. So actively search for those things. You can check yourself right now. What is it that you are trying to manifest? For me, it's my RV. I'm still here. I'm still waiting for this RV. I'm patient. I get it. I get that it's not time yet, but what am I going to feel from this RV? Freedom, liberation, chain free. Just go. You don't have to be anywhere. Just go. So how can I engage in that in my personal life? How can I feel free and liberated and unchained? I can go do whatever the hell I want to do whenever I want to do it, because that's going to be the same. Like, that's what I'm reaching for. So the more I tap into that energy now, the more it's going to energetically align with what I desire, so that more opportunities to do that will show up in my life. So what are you guys trying to manifest? What do you think you're going to feel because of that manifestation? What is it going to make you feel? And then look for that feeling in your life right now. And just play. Play. Yes, let's more actively follow joy. Because it is so easy to slip into that hard work mentality. If it's something that you really want, something that you're really passionate about, of course you're going to spend all day and night thinking about it. Of course you're going to dedicate a big chunk of your life to whatever it is that you desire. But are you able to laugh about it? Are you able to play with it? Are you able to have joy with creating this thing? If it's becoming such a strain and stress on you now, what do you think it's going to turn into when it shows up? Just saying. I could talk about following your highest joy now for hours. That's the beginning of that Bashar 4-step thing that I've been following for a long time. Follow your highest joy, your highest excitement. Take it as far as you can take it. Remain grateful. Detach from outcomes. That's what the Black Panther was saying at first. No expectations. Detach from outcomes. So, what else does our highest self want us to practice while we're in this waiting period? When we know what we want, we've been working towards what we want, but it's not here yet. Card number 2 brings us Sea Turtle. And Sea Turtle says, find your element. On the beaches of her birth, Sea Turtle is frustratingly awkward. She paddles for purchase in the slippery sand, which she returns to only to lay her eggs. Even this is not a yearly practice. Her homecoming happens only every few years when she can no longer resist the call of her home beach. The rest of the time, she is a creature of water, smoothly swimming great distances and frolicking in the sun-drenched ocean. While birth delivered her to the sandy shore, this ancient creature is most herself when out of that element. Water is her true home, the place where she is quick and graceful and joyous. If you feel uncomfortable in your natal family or place of origin, call on Sea Turtle to help you find your natural element. So for the purpose of this reading, what do we do? What does our highest self want us to do when we're in that waiting period? Mess around and find out. I'm not going to swear, but I hope you understand the FAFO reference. Find your element, go play, go do something else, right? Card number 1 is telling us to slide into joy. Look for the things that do bring you joy and playfulness in your life. Sea Turtle is saying if you feel icky where you are, maybe it's not your place. Maybe it's not your people. Maybe it's not your environment. Maybe it's not what is meant for your highest good. So that's why you feel icky. So go play. Go find where you are your most authentic self. That could be joining a new group, going to a group healing in your town that you're like, I don't know, this seems a little weird. I don't know if I'm going to like these people. Well, FAFO, try it. Go and see, because you never know. If the Sea Turtle stayed on sand her whole life, she'd be miserable. She'd be dried out, she'd be crotchety, she'd be angry, she'd be annoyed. It's the same as you. If you stick to where you are because you're here, even though you have this desire, I desire to be this way, a different way, but I can't be that where I am. Well, go be it. Go try. And then the more you slide into that joy, the more you find what brings you joy and you align with it and you start to vibrate with it. That is how what you desire will automatically, magnetically attract itself to you. Card number 3 today, while we're waiting, while we're sliding into joy and playing around to find our element, what else does our higher self want us to do while we're waiting for these manifestations? Card number 3 brings us Sea Eagle, letting us know to renew your life. A medieval tale teaches that when old eagle can no longer spot pike jumping in the sea, her wings feel heavy and slow. She remembers the lore of incarnation, reincarnation. This mystery is passed down to those of her kind who, as fledglings, are strong enough to look straight into the fiery sun. As the ancient knowing rises in her soul, Eagle finds a well of clear, clean water. With that well as her tether to earth, she leaps skyward and sunward, flying up till her feathers sear and the fog is burned from her eyes. Then she plummets back to earth into the depths of the well's water, emerging renewed. Eagle reminds us that life moves in cycles. When you get tired and burned out, draw on the wisdom of your soul to find renewal. So while we're in that waiting period, this is your time to recognize, okay, so what I'm getting from this card is there was something, is your manifestation a recreation of how life used to be? First, I want you to ask yourself that question. Are you hoping to manifest something that will bring you back to how you used to be? Maybe when you were younger, maybe when life was easier. Are you trying to recreate the past? I just want you to check yourself on that, because I've seen that happen. And in my experience, watching people trying to recreate their past, just ends in sadness because the past is gone, the cycle has ended. Okay, I'm not saying that those feelings that you had in the past can never come back, but if you're trying to recreate the exact scenario that you used to have, you were an old version back then. Okay, so what this sea eagle wants us to do is to know when it's time to let go of those old ways of being, right? When Sea Eagle was younger, she used to be able to do X, Y, Z, but she is no longer that age. She is no longer that version of herself. So it's time to dive into what is possible for me now. Aging, yes, makes you lose certain things, but you also have the utmost wisdom that you did not have when you had the other youthful tools. You know what I'm saying? Even I think about that sometimes. Like, I would love to go back and do my teenage years again because of what I know now. But I didn't know this back then, so I wouldn't be using my youthful teenage self to do what I want to do now because she wasn't that version. So lean into what you do have, lean into what you have gained, renew yourself so that you can start this new cycle as this new version of yourself. I feel like there's something different in that card, but that's what came through. That's what came through. Are you focusing on everything that you can't do anymore because you've lost XYZ? And it doesn't have to be the youth thing. That's just coming up because I know my audience. But it could be something along those lines. Like, well, I don't have this relationship anymore, so I guess I can't have this and this and this in my life. Well, I don't have this job anymore, so obviously this is off the table for me. Poppycock. It's poppycock. We are always in a state of renewal. So what are you creating with the version of yourself that you are now? Because you worked hard to be this version of yourself. You busted your ass to have what you have now. So how can you utilize that to help you achieve what you do want? So while we're in this waiting period, we started the reading with the Black Panther, letting us know not to have expectations. Because if you have this agenda in your mind of how it's supposed to look, the path that your manifestation is supposed to follow, the timeline that it's supposed to follow, if you have that in mind, you're going to sabotage it because the universe is trying to help you get something better. Fathom that, right? Oh, the universe wants me to have something better. So what do we do when we're in that waiting period between this is what I want, okay, I get it, I'm not in control. Okay, well, if I'm out of control, what do I do? You slide into joy. You look for everything in your life that brings you happiness and fulfillment and contentment. And if you want to take it deeper, whatever emotion you think your manifestation will bring to you, look for it now because it already exists. So grow that emotion within you now, and that will naturally turn you into a magnet to attract more of that feeling into you. As you're sliding into joy, it might be time to change up your surroundings. It might be time to go try a new type of group. It might be time to try a new career. Fatho, mess around and find out. It might be time to try a new group of friends. It might be time to try a new lifestyle. Maybe the life that you're in right now is holding you back. Maybe there is something greater for you and you don't know until you try it. And it's also time to let go of how things used to be and to take this person that you have become already and utilize this current person to thrust you into the future. Absolutely. Time of letting go of what you think your life is supposed to be like based on something from the past. This card is really speaking that there's something that I used to have that I'm trying to get back. That's what I want you to be cautious of with card number 3. If you guys have enjoyed today's reading, if it has ignited any sort of fire within you, any sort of peace within you, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they are always appreciated. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all sorts of support in all forms. You guys are the reason I do this, right? I wouldn't just be talking if it was for me. Sending love to all. Namaste.